There have been 6 deadly attacks on local BJP leaders and workers in the valley in just the last 1 month. This specific targeting by terrorists has triggered fear and panic, with BJP's grassroots level workers in the valley now demanding a dedicated safe zone and proper security arrangements. Is this an effort to try and undermine the central government's efforts to establish a new democratic order in Jammu and Kashmir? Ashraf Wani and Sujaul Haq with our lead story tonight.
Date July 8th. Location Bandipora. The BJP's face of the district, Wasim Bari. His father and brother gunned down. August 4th. Village Sarpanch Arif Ahmad Shah, another BJP leader, shot in his neck in Kulgam's Devsar area. He is fighting for his life at a Srinagar hospital. August 6th, BJP Sarpanch Sajjad Ahmad Khande killed near his home at Vesu village in Kulgam. August 9th, Abdul Ahmad Najar shot at in Badgam. This OBC Morcha district president of the BJP died a day later. Fear and chaos breaking up the Saffron party in the Kashmir Valley. Terror attacks have ignited exodus. Close to dozens BJP functionaries have quit.
The series of attacks on BJP leaders, particularly those working on the grassroots level, have sent out a sense of fear among the party members locally in Jammu and Kashmir. While a lot of people are basically saying that the government has lacked when it comes to providing security, many of them are saying that there is more than what meets the eye here.
Fearing for their lives, many others might also be on their way out. Some have become increasingly vocal in their criticism of the BJP's central leadership.
आप देखेंगे सेंटर में किनकी गवर्नमेंट है और स्टेट में किनकी गवर्नमेंट है. हमें ये कहा गया था कि आप कश्मीर में जाइए, काम कीजिए. वहां के जो हमारे देशभक्त लोग हैं उन्होंने भी भारत माता का झंडा हाथ में लेके वो निकले अपने जान की परवाह किए बगैर. लेकिन जो हमें वादा किया गया था कि आपको पूरी सिक्योरिटी मिलेगी, फुल प्रूफ सिक्योरिटी मिलेगी, तो आप मुझे बताइए कि कहां सिक्योरिटी है.
Remember, the central government gave a strong push to the grassroots Panchayati system in the valley after Article 370 was revoked in August 2019. But a year later, safety has become a grave concern. The chorus of disaffection with the central leadership is growing.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी का कार्यकर्ता जो है वो डेडिकेटेड है अपने देश के लिए, अपने आवाम के लिए. हम इंशाल्लाह रहमान काम करते रहेंगे. इसलिए मैं मानता हूं कि गवर्नमेंट की कहीं खामियां रह गई है जिसकी वजह से इनको सिक्योरिटी फराहम नहीं की गई है. मैं गवर्नमेंट से आपकी वजह से कहना चाहूंगा कि मेहरबानी करके जिनको थ्रेट है उनको सिक्योरिटी फराहम की जाए.
In Kashmir, there is a sense within the party that the attacks are targeted strategically to sabotage panchayat politics.
भारतीय जनता पार्टी के कारकुन अपने लोगों के साथ किए हुए वादे को पूरा करने के लिए उनके बीच में रहकर काम कर रहे हैं. लेकिन ये उन लोगों को पसंद नहीं जो कि कश्मीर के अंदर पॉलिटिकल प्रोसेस को दोबारा रिवाइव करने नहीं देना चाहते.
A shaken BJP in the valley has sought secured family housing for party functionaries. A challenge for the central leadership to keep every grassroots worker safe from increasing terror threats. With Sujaul Haq and Ashraf Wani from Srinagar, Bureau Report, India Today.
As a political party, the BJP attempting to help a new democratic order take shape. These were the faces of local governance in the Kashmir Valley. 6 deadly attacks, 5 BJP leaders in the valley assassinated. Now there is fear, there is panic. What should be done to step in, provide security, ensure that efforts to give greater strength to democracy at the grassroots are strengthened rather than trampled by the terrorists. Joining us for Perspective, BJP's national spokesperson and a passionate advocate of democracy in Kashmir, Nalin Kohli, squaring off against him, Gauhar Gilani, and Vijay Raina is a Kashmiri Sarpanch and a local BJP leader as well. So I want to go across to Nalin Kohli. In that comprehensive ground report that we just carried, Nalin, we saw how 5 BJP leaders have been killed, 6 have been attacked, more than 40 have now resigned. There is fear and there is panic, and they're looking up to the central government, to the Delhi leadership, and wondering, will anything be done to provide safety and security? What's going on? What's your reading of the situation, Nalin?
Yes, Rahul, indeed. It's a targeted attack and killing of those who are political workers at the grassroots level, and particularly targeting the BJP workers and leadership. We need to bear in mind that in Jammu and Kashmir, Pakistan's consistent attempt has been to create it as a trouble spot. As you've covered it, your channel has covered it. You know that Article 370 has covered, and Pakistan finds itself in a quandary. Now, the number of terrorists, and your channel has also done extensive coverage of that, being eliminated every month by month by the security forces, the police personnel and others working in tandem, has consistently increased, and the so-called number, which used to be in thousands at one time of terrorists, at the peak of terrorism, is down to just a couple of hundred.
No, sure. So what you're saying is correct, Nalin, but I want to interject to ask, what is it that you intend to do to provide safety and security to these local level BJP leaders who are clearly being targeted and assassinated? They're asking for special enclaves or special clusters where the local democratic leaders can stay so that the terrorists don't come and target them. What are you intending to do about that, Nalin?
There are 2 parts to it. So just to finish one last thing, Rahul, and I'll answer your question. The first part is, of course, that this is grassroots democracy, and people's representation and development through grassroots democracy doesn't take place. BJP workers, yes, there have been concerns and demands coming up. You will be aware that there was a demand at one time for special enclaves, even for Kashmiri Pandits. Now, what are the contours of what should be done? What is permissible in law? How it should be done? What are those options for the security, as also from the perspective of it being correct in law? All of that is going to be obviously looked at. And for me, it's not possible to articulate it immediately, but I can certainly tell you that the government of India, of Prime Minister Modi, stands behind every Kashmiri who is being targeted, whether they are BJP workers or not, because we will defeat Pakistan in its nefarious design.
Now, Gauhar Gilani, this is deeply problematic because there's a section in Kashmir that doesn't want to engage with Indian democracy. There are some people who have come forward, engaged not just with the Indian order, but also with the BJP. And they are being systematically targeted and taken down. Now, this just demonstrates to someone like me how rattled separatists and terrorists are by the fact that there will be a new crop of democratic leaders, some belonging to the BJP, some to the Congress and to other parties, who will come in and form a new democratic order. And that is why, one after another, these hapless BJP leaders and some from the Congress as well are being targeted and taken down.
Oh, well, Mr. Rahul, you talk about democracy. I will give you some reports. One report is by Jammu Kashmir Coalition of Civil Society. So in the first 6 months this year, from January to June, 250 people have been killed, which includes 36 civilians who have been mostly killed in extrajudicial killings. And there is a report by Kashmir Chamber of Commerce and Industries, which says that Kashmir economy has lost 40,000 crores since August last year. And there is a report by Access Now, which says the internet shutdown in Kashmir is the longest.
How is this linked to the question that I asked you about the selected targeted of BJP leaders? Surely you don't think that any of this justifies the killing of these panchayat leaders?
So this is the ground reality. Which democracy are you talking about? All the unionist camp, be it the National Conference, PDP, they are saying they feel humiliated, insulted, and they are in jail, and some of them still are under detention. So is it a democracy only for one particular party, one particular ideology, while there is a political vacuum which exists in Kashmir for the last 1 year in particular? So you have to, either you bat for one particular ideology and only worry about their democratic space. But what about the other 8 million population?
One second. What you're saying, Gauhar Gilani, 1 second, sir.
And have one political,
1 second, Gauhar.
Space only for one political ideology.
What you're saying is so shocking. 1 second.
And respect the facts that are on the ground.
Here, certain people, regardless of their political ideology, have been targeted and killed. None of what you said had one word of remorse or condemnation for those attacks. Do you not think that this is absolutely shameful, the manner in which these people are being targeted and taken down, regardless of which political ideology they belong to?
See, any killing, be it any political ideology, any killing is condemnable. There are no two opinions.
You didn't condemn it.
No sane person would ever.
You had nothing to say about that.
Be it a citizen or a political worker or anyone. No killing can be ever condoned. Every killing has to be condemned in equal measure. But it's not only that you will do a program only when there are killings of a particular ideology. There are reports now from 3 boys from Rajouri. The families are saying they have been killed in fake encounter. So you will not do a program on that. So you can't cherry pick facts. That is the problem.
Okay, let Nalin Kohli respond to it. That while the democratic order is being targeted with the killings of these BJP leaders, he says you can't look at these BJP local level leaders by themselves. You have to look at the entire order of democratic norms. Some of which, including internet, including access, including people being locked up, some in detention, some in house arrest, all of that needs to be looked at together. Nalin Kohli.
Rahul, you see, in the story of Jammu and Kashmir, there is the genuine people of Jammu and Kashmir who have suffered over the last several decades, and particularly because of the nefarious designs of Pakistan. And then there is a set of servants of Pakistan who work overground to somehow thwart Indian democracy and the roots of democracy, and bring up all sorts of arguments against the flowering of democracy or the strengthening of nationalist forces. They are the front-end workers for Pakistani designs. Now, they may be paid, it may be their business model. Some of them are in the garb of businessmen, in the garb of civil rights union, in the garb of lawyers, etc., etc. They will get exposed as time goes by, and they have to be, because many of them are enemies of the state also, in terms of how they work against the national interest. I was amazed to hear Mr. Gauhar's entire speech, which had nothing to do first with the condemnation of the loss of a human being, the loss of an Indian citizen, and the person of Jammu and Kashmir. He's then a member of BJP. There wasn't, only in the end, every killing must be this. It's exactly the same as the sympathizers of terrorism. And those people also keep the same language. Every killing is condemnable, but they won't say that the terror attack itself is condemnable, the terrorists are condemnable, and the misuse and abuse of Islam by a certain vested interest is condemnable. They won't ever say that as
Vijay Raina, as a local sarpanch in Kashmir, can you give us your perspective? कि आपकी बात हो रही है बाकी सरपंचों से जिनकी टारगेटिंग हो रही है? हमारे रिपोर्टर्स जो हैं कश्मीर में जिनसे मैं बात कर रहा था, उन्होंने कहा कि 40 से ज्यादा बीजेपी के लीडर्स ने इस्तीफा दे दिया है. उनमें अब डर है, उनमें खौफ है. वो चाहते हैं कि सरकार उन्हें सिक्योरिटी दे, उनको प्रोटेक्ट करे, और अगर नहीं करती तो कहते हैं कि हम नहीं करेंगे ये काम.
राहुल जी, सबसे पहले मैं आपका धन्यवाद देना चाहता हूं कि आपने मुझे यहाँ बोलने का समय दिया है. और मैं साथ ही जो मेरे ये कश्मीरी भाई जो मेरे साथी हैं यहाँ सरपंच पंच या बीजेपी के जो हमारे भाई मारे गए हैं, मैं कंडेम करता हूं इस बारबेरिक हत्या के लिए. और जो रियलिटी में यहाँ सिचुएशन है वो ठीक नहीं है. और जैसे अभी गौहर गिलानी साहब बोल रहे थे कि मतलब आउट ऑफ ट्रैक हो जा रहे थे, वो कंडेम भी नहीं कर पाए, तो मैं शेम उनको करना चाहता हूं कि ऐसे लोगों की वजह से ही ये किलिंग्स हो रही हैं. ये गिलानी जो हुर्रियत के लोग थे और सेपरेटिस्ट हैं और पाकिस्तान के जो लोग हैं जो पाकिस्तान का एजेंडा यहाँ चला रहे हैं, उनकी वजह से ये किलिंग्स हो रही हैं. हमारा बीजेपी के जो कार्यकर्ता हैं और जो हमारे यहाँ सरपंच पंचेस हैं वो बहुत अच्छा ग्राउंड पे काम कर रहे हैं. ये जो पीडीपी है, एनसी है या बाकी पार्टीज हैं, इनसे वो सहा नहीं जा रहा है. क्योंकि यहाँ अगर आप हर तरफ देखेंगे कि ये जितनी भी पार्टीज है वहां से उनको छोड़ के बीजेपी में ज्वाइन हो रहे हैं और हर तरफ बीजेपी छाया हुआ है. और ग्राउंड पे रियलिटी में इतना जबरदस्त काम हो रहा है. और करप्शन जो इन लोगों की देन है, जो कागजों पे सिर्फ काम करते थे और हिंदुस्तान का जो पैसा था उसको लूटते थे, वो बंद हो चुका है. इनकी दुकानें बंद हो चुकी है यहाँ. इस वजह से ये टारगेटेड किलिंग कर रहे हैं. और जो पंच सरपंच साहिबान हैं बहुत डरे हुए हैं, सहमे हुए हैं। रीजन यही है कि सिक्योरिटी थ्रेट बहुत ज्यादा है उनको, और उसी वजह से
That's the point. Now that's the point, Gauhar Gilani, you need to respond to. If this is just such a prop which has no meaning, then why are separatists and terrorists so rattled by what these workers are doing on the ground? If they'll have no impact, then why are they being targeted? Is it because there is a very real, palpable fear that new democratic leaders will emerge from the ground up, from the village, from the panchayats, who will take the place of the families that have ruled Kashmir since independence?
See, unfortunately, both of my co-panelists have a very weak argument. It's like the same, there's a very standardized. Whenever they are countered with facts and reports, they will just label you and demonize you. But I'm not going to demonize them because that's not my job. But I will answer your question. When you talk about National Conference, for example, National Conference is the oldest political formation in Jammu and Kashmir, which came into being actually in 1931, and then it changed name in 1939. So when you say that they don't have a role and you lock their chief ministers and then say we are doing a democratic process, then PDP, with whom BJP was a coalition partner until 2018, now they are terrorists. Now they are, Pakistan sympathizers.
No one said PDP is terrorist. You're making this up.
When you enter into an agent of alliance, you form a government. You share, government cabinet
stop playing the victim card. Nobody said this. One second. You can't just speak like this without listening to what's being said. Turn his fader down. Gauhar Gilani, nobody said anything about Mehbooba Mufti being a terrorist. Who said anything about that? Nalin didn't say it. From what I heard, Vijay Raina, he said nothing of the sort. You're just making facts up.
Criminalize all opinions. That is not democracy. That is a dictatorial attitude that you kill all forms of dissent and just you want to have one form of opinion. If that is the case, then good luck.
Both faders down. Vijay Raina, आप बोलना चाहते हैं, आप काउंटर करना चाहते हैं गौहर जो बोल रहा है?
जी बिल्कुल ऐसा है कि इनका जो अभी उन्होंने उमर उल्लाह के बारे में बात बताई, उन्होंने पीडीपी के नेता के बारे में बात बताई। अगर वो बंद है तो उनके जो कैडर है बाहर, वो ग्राउंड पे क्यों नहीं आ रहा है? रीजन ये है कि उनको भी समझ आ गया कि इनका जो नैरेटिव पहले था, ये जो हिंदुस्तान को गालियां दे रहे थे, उस पे यहाँ 370 के बाद जो यहाँ पर ये रोटियां सीख रहे थे और लूट मचा रखी थी उन्होंने, वो दुकानें उनकी बंद हो चुकी हैं। लोग इनको पसंद नहीं कर रहे हैं। क्या मुंह लेके जाएंगे ग्राउंड पे?
There is a counter. Nalin Kohli, there is a counter. There's a relevant question that the BJP needs to answer. You can't talk about democracy being threatened when you've got Mehbooba Mufti incarcerated. Why is she locked up? Why should she not be allowed to roam around and do her politics the way she wants, like the sarpanches are doing and whatever else she wants to do?
Yeah, but on the other hand, what Vijay Raina ji said was very, very pertinent. Is she the only leader? Is that party a one-man party? I mean, is there nobody else in the party to do any political work?
But that doesn't fully answer the question, Nalin. Why is she locked up?
I'm giving an argument. The whole Bharatiya Janata Party leadership was in emergency in jail. At Jan Sangh of that time, did it disappear? The countless Karyakartas is what makes a party, not just that leader who sits there. A real leader is one who is raised by the Karyakarta, and the Karyakartas work for that leader irrespective of that leader's presence. So that is the thing. There isn't a real leadership in that sense. This was shops that were running of interest, which we see, and I'm not demonizing Mr. Gauhar Gilani. I'm not. In fact, I'm thankful to India today, and I'm even more thankful to him. People like him must come more on TV. The nation and the world must see these people. They must certainly come out, because what they stand for, what they don't stand for, what their agendas are, they eloquently expose it themselves. They don't need our help.
Okay, respond to both Vijay and Nalin when they say it's not Mehbooba alone. There are others, and none of them, whether they're in the PDP or the National Conference, none of them have been stopped from coming out and doing their politics. Gauhar Gilani.
See, Mr. Rahul, I will only respond to your questions because I don't want to get into tutu meme. So I will tell you the silence that you're talking about when people do not protest out of fear, because what the situation on the ground is since last 1 year, silence is also a form of protest. When nobody comes out to protest, it's not surrender. It's a form of protest. So that is what the argument is from the National Conference, PDP, People's Conference, leaders like Sajad Loan and other parties. They're saying there's no political space that exists in. There's a political vacuum in Kashmir. Only one form of opinion is allowed. All other forms of opinions are criminalized and penalized. So if that is the definition of democracy, then I don't have anything to say. I wish you good luck.
No, but Nalin Kohli, I have one final question for you before I end this part of the news track. Sure. You cannot, with great conviction, complain about the targeting of BJP leaders while you lock up other leaders. Now, what you're saying about PDP Karyakartas, it's the way they want to run the party. If Mehbooba is their leader, at this moment, 1 year after Article 370 was abrogated, there isn't a single good reason why Mehbooba Mufti is still locked up.
Well, then perhaps, Rahul, you'll need to ask that question from the Honorable Supreme Court also. These matters went there. So is the Honorable Supreme Court working without reason? That's not an argument I would buy. Certainly not. They are all people who have gone up there, including for certain journalist organizations. This matter came up repeatedly. It's been adjudicated, is being adjudicated. So therefore, let's not run down the due process of law. There is ample material there that probably justifies, and that's why the Supreme Court didn't order immediately everyone's en masse release.
Okay, I leave it there, but to my mind, these are two separate matters. One, the targeting of BJP leaders in the valley is totally wrong. You need to find a way of ensuring that anybody who comes out, tries to join the democratic order, he's protected. You can't have terrorists taking them down. A way has to be found to give them protection. Secondly, 1 year on, forget what the Supreme Court is saying. The government has no solid, legitimate reason to lock up Mehbooba Mufti. She should be allowed, and democracy of all kinds, whether it's pushed by BJP leaders or those of the NC or for the PDP, is equally important. You can't root for one and at the same time try and quash and demean the other. This is where I wrap up this part of the news track. I want to show you, though, a story about how Pakistan is now targeting those who are aligned with the BJP or those who are in the military through apps. While the Modi government banned Chinese apps, citing a threat to national security, there's another challenge that's now brewing. Malicious apps based with IPs in Pakistan have been attempting to snoop on the Indian Armed Forces, the police and supporters of the ruling BJP. Ankit Kumar from the India Today Open Source Intelligence Desk with this exclusive investigation.
हम लोगों ने 59 ऐप को बैन किया है। कानूनी कार्रवाई होगी उसकी। भारत की जनता के डेटा की सुरक्षा पर कोई हम समझौता नहीं करेंगे।
Earlier, India banned Chinese mobile apps. But India Today's forensic investigation has now unearthed a new threat lurking on Android. A malicious network of snooping apps covertly linked to Pakistan. This malware is designed to target the Indian Armed Forces and law enforcement and workers of India's ruling Bharatiya Janata Party. The name of this Android application on Google Play Store says it all. This app promises a customized look of the Indian Army, Navy and Air Force uniform. Also on offer is an Abhinandan-style mustache look. The app has been downloaded more than 10,000 times. Snowberry has also developed a similar app for a police uniform. As per Google Play Store data, the developer of this app is UK-based Snowberry, but the developer doesn't provide its full address. And this is where it gets murkier. The same developer has created an app linked to Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan. Snowberry appears to be just a thread of a deep, sinister web. Take a look at this Android application. This app allows its users to create customized BJP posters with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's pictures and party symbol. Sloppy typos, incomplete address belie the claims that it's developed in Australia. To the casual eye, You Are Brave and Snowberry may have no connection. But when India Today's forensic investigation dug deeper, it found that not only are these two developers linked, there's several other shady apps floating around. Snowberry, Fiore Apps Inc., Redberry apps, You Are Brave and Instaberry are all part of the same dark network.
With incomplete addresses of UK and Australia, these developers were surely trying to hide something, and their websites consisted of a single blog page. Our investigation used their separate privacy policy documents, emails, Facebook accounts, and the blog pages to link this network to Islamabad. Once we had established the Pakistan link, it was time to look deeper into this dark web. And for this, we worked closely with cybersecurity firm Voyager Infosec.
Our scrutiny of their privacy policy documents revealed this network's links to an Islamabad-based tech firm.
See, these are the snooping applications. It will never be that this is a smaller threat or a bigger threat. If they are a threat, they were 100% a bigger threat, because once they take all the permissions, they will steal all kind of data. They will steal SMS also, photos also, galleries also, videos also, your browsing history. It will never be that they will steal only SMS and leave it at that. So if there is a suspicious application, once they have taken all the permission, it is absolutely dependent on the intent of the person or the actor behind it. What does he want to do with those permissions?
Reverse engineering and internet protocol analysis of this network, done by Delhi-based Voyager Infosec for India Today, exposed all the telltale signs of a suspected covert malware network profiling and targeting thousands of Indian users.
So you could figure out what all permission it is taking, how those permissions are being utilized, when they are being utilized, on which servers data is being sent. So that is how we realized that data in these applications was being sent to the servers which have been blacklisted, which have been possibly marked as spam earlier in the past by different actors, and which have already been marked as suspicious IP addresses by various independent operators across the world.
Our investigation also shows that these apps are often boosted by fake positive reviews from fake accounts, which include Hollywood actors and women cricketers.
Experts believe that by targeting specific user groups and exploiting the devices they are installed in, these apps could present a national security threat. In New Delhi, this is Ankit Kumar for India Today.
India Today has accessed WhatsApp conversations between Sushant Singh Rajput's father and his girlfriend Rhea Chakraborty. A message was sent by Sushant's father to Rhea in November, appealing to her for access to his son. Sushant's family claims that Rhea blocked them out of the late actor's life. Our Mumbai bureau with this story.
Did Rhea Chakraborty stop Sushant Singh from contacting his family? Why couldn't Sushant's family get in touch with him? In a sensational development, Sushant's father, KK Singh, has made public WhatsApp chats from November 2019, where he seems to be pleading to Rhea for information about his son's health. A single WhatsApp message was sent by KK Singh to Rhea Chakraborty on 29th November 2019 at 12:34 p.m. It reads, "Now that you know that I am Sushant's father, why are you not talking to me? What is the issue? You're looking after him and getting him treated as a friend. As a father, it's my duty too to know everything about Sushant. Please call me and give me all the information." On the same day at 12:16 p.m, Sushant's father also sent a WhatsApp message to Shruti Modi, Rhea's manager. It said, "I know that you look after all of Sushant's work and him. Whatever state he's in now, I wanted to speak to you about that. I spoke to Sushant and he said he was very worried. You tell me, will a father not be worried about his son? That's why I wanted to talk to you. I want to visit Mumbai. Send me the flight ticket."
What's very, very important in this is it shows a consistent effort on the part of the family to get in touch with Sushant, knowing his whereabouts, knowing the situation around him, knowing that Rhea Chakraborty was controlling everything around him. The father is in Patna and Sushant and Rhea are in Mumbai. So in a way, if you see, all connection or all communication with him is clipped off. It's just cut off.
Sushant Singh's father, on whose complaint the FIR was filed by Bihar police, has accused Rhea Chakraborty of abetment to suicide. The late actor's family has also alleged that Rhea kept Sushant at a resort for 3 months, and that Rhea and her family were managing Sushant and his business. The family claims that Sushant was on a downward spiral since then. The question is, did Rhea respond to these WhatsApp messages by Sushant's father? And if not, then why? Bureau Report, India Today.
There was high drama in the Supreme Court today as Rhea Chakrabarty's plea was heard. Rhea's lawyer claimed that the actress loved Sushant but is now being targeted and trolled. The Bihar police and the Maharashtra government also crossed swords, with both accusing each other of politics and victimization. But the biggest twist came when the lawyer for Sushant Singh Rajput's father raised questions about the mysterious circumstances surrounding the actor's death.
The Supreme Court has reserved its verdict on Rhea Chakrabarty's petition seeking transfer of the Bihar police FIR on Sushant Singh Rajput's death from Patna to Mumbai. The court has asked all parties in the case to make brief written submissions by Thursday. The courtroom witnessed high drama on Tuesday as top lawyers representing the 5 parties sparred over the question of jurisdiction. The hearing began with Rhea's lawyer Shyam Diwan saying the actress loved Sushant but was now in trauma after being victimized and trolled in media. Diwan went ahead to argue that all events in the case were related to Mumbai and hence the FIR filed in Patna should be transferred to the city. Rhea's lawyer also claimed interference by Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar and serious apprehension of bias. Sushant's father, KK Singh, represented by senior lawyer Vikas Singh, contested the claims made by Rhea. In a sensational claim in court, Sushant's father held that the actor's body was brought down when his sister was just 10 minutes away from the residence. He alleged that the locksmith was escorted away before the door was opened. Questioning the Maharashtra government, Sushant's father said state quarantine rules were changed deliberately to block a probe into the case. He said if Sushant was murdered, it must be probed. The Maharashtra government, represented by senior lawyer and Congress leader Abhishek Manu Singhvi, claimed the law on jurisdiction was being turned on its head and that there is an absolute and total lack of jurisdiction in Bihar. He called it an attack on federalism. The Bihar government in its response hit out at the Mumbai police, claiming it was conducting a facade of an investigation. The Bihar government held the case registered in the state was valid since no FIR was lodged in Mumbai. The Solicitor General arguing for the CBI said the agency had agreed to Bihar's request for a probe. He also pointed out no FIR has been filed in Mumbai.
Serious mudslinging in Supreme Court by Bihar and Maharashtra today regarding the jurisdiction of their respective police forces to investigate the Sushant Singh Rajput case and the alleged political agendas driving both governments. Meanwhile, Rhea Chakrabarty making an emotional plea for a fair investigation, saying that she has not only lost a loved one but is also facing serious mental trauma and media trial. The Apex Court has reserved its verdict and given time till Thursday for all parties to file their written submissions. In New Delhi, this is Anisha Mathur for India Today.
There's been a lot of speculation recently about a 2019 holiday that Sushant and Rhea took in Italy. Sushant's cook had claimed that the actor changed completely after returning from this holiday. Now, India Today has accessed Rhea's version of what happened on that trip that's been spoken about so much. Rhea has told the Enforcement Directorate that it was during this trip that she first encountered Sushant's mental health issues. This is what she had to say in the affidavit.
Sushant Singh Rajput's trip to Europe with his girlfriend Rhea Chakrabarty has been much talked about, but not much has been revealed about it. India Today has now accessed exclusive details of Sushant Singh's 2019 Europe trip, where he was accompanied by Rhea and her brother Shovik. Sources say Rhea has told investigation agencies she witnessed Sushant's alleged mental health issues for the first time during that trip. Sources say Rhea claimed the three were staying at a heritage hotel in Italy when Sushant allegedly began hallucinating about some paintings in their room. According to sources, Rhea told officials that they were residing in a 600-year-old Heritage Hotel in Italy. The hotel had huge rooms with old paintings on the walls of the rooms. She claims one such painting gripped Sushant's mind, which showed Saturn devouring its own child. The couple, according to Ria, advanced their return from November 2nd to October 28th. Ria claims after that Sushant's condition worsened and that she would often find him shouting, screaming and crying. According to sources, she claimed that on June 8th, Sushant told Ria to go back to her residence and that it would help her recuperate. Sushant's cook had earlier told India Today how Sushant's mood seems to have changed after his European trip.
जब तक मैं 2019 सितंबर तक था तब तक मेरे साथ भी ठीक था और बाद में पता चला है कि उनको डेंगू है, उसके बाद फिर डिप्रेशन हो गया। ये सब बातें बाद में मेरे को पता चला। वो कभी मेडिसिन खाने वाला इंसान ही नहीं है तो मेडिसिन तो उसको छूता भी नहीं था कभी।
Meanwhile, the Enforcement Directorate has widened its probe in the Sushant case. Ria, who was questioned on August 7th and 10th, is likely to be summoned again on Wednesday. The heat is not just on Ria, but also her aides. Sources say Shruti Modi, Sushant's business manager, has told ED that Ria made all the key financial and project-related decisions for Sushant. Sources say the ED has confiscated mobile phones of Ria, her brother Shovik, and her father to download data. The ED has also questioned Siddharth Pithani, Sushant's friend and flatmate. For the first time, Sushant's family member, his sister Meetu Singh, has given a statement to the probe agency. Another shocking detail that has come out is the mysterious change of IP address of Sushant's server just 7 days before his death from Sushant were also deleted.
Enforcement Directorate probing the money laundering case against Ria Chakrabarti, her family members and staffers of Sushant Singh Rajput have examined mobile phones belonging to Ria, her brother Shovik and father Indrajit. The Enforcement Directorate is looking for deleted messages and other data in these mobile phones. Meanwhile, mobile phones of Shruti Modi, the former business manager of Sushant Singh Rajput, and Siddharth Pithani, who is a friend of Sushant Singh Rajput, have also been examined. Shruti Modi and Siddharth Pithani were again called for questioning on Tuesday, while Meetu Singh, sister of Sushant Singh Rajput, also recorded her statement with Enforcement Directorate. With camera person Kiran Sapkal, this is Divyesh Singh in Mumbai for India Today.
One of the most famous and stirring Urdu poets of our time, Rahat Indori, passed away in Madhya Pradesh's Indore today following a massive cardiac arrest. He was admitted to the hospital yesterday after testing positive for the coronavirus. He was 70 years old, and from the time of the emergency and even before that, his pen had woven some magic. I want to end the news track tonight with some of his most memorable verses that still ring a heart, a tone in everyone's heart. Take a look at this.
मैं जानता हूं कि दुश्मन भी कम नहीं, लेकिन हमारी तरह हथेली पे जान थोड़ी है जो आज साहिबे मसनद हैं, कल नहीं होंगे, किराएदार हैं, जाती मकान थोड़ी है, सभी का खून है शामिल यहाँ की मिट्टी में, सभी का खून है शामिल यहाँ की मिट्टी में, किसी के बाप का हिंदुस्तान थोड़ी है।
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.